Have you ever felt overwhelmed by negative thoughts swirling in your mind, constantly worrying about things outside your control, or doubting your abilities and personal worth? If so, you are not alone. In today's fast-paced world, many of us struggle with habits that erode our mental well-being and prevent us from reaching our full potential. But what if I told you that there is a timeless philosophy that can help you break free from these toxic patterns? A way of thinking embraced by some of the greatest minds in history, from emperors to slaves, from soldiers to scholars. That philosophy is Stoicism, and in this video, we will explore how its ancient wisdom can liberate you from 5 destructive habits that might be sabotaging your happiness and success. Stoics believe that true freedom and tranquility come from focusing our energy on what is within our control, letting go of what is not. Epictetus said that there is only one way to be happy, and that is to stop worrying about things that are beyond the power of our will. In the next few minutes, we will delve into 5 harmful behaviors identified by the Stoics as obstacles to a fulfilling life. Overthinking, trying to please everyone, living in the past, worrying constantly, and self-doubt. For each of these habits, we will examine the Stoic perspective and provide practical modern strategies to help you eliminate them permanently. Many of you may recognize at least 1 or 2 behaviors that hinder your life. Perhaps you are a chronic thinker whose constantly active brain keeps you awake at night, or a pleaser who has lost sight of your own values and desires. Whatever your struggle, I invite you to share it in the comments below. Overcoming deeply rooted patterns is not an easy feat. It requires courage, self-awareness, and a constant commitment to personal growth. But the rewards are immense: a deep sense of inner peace, unwavering confidence, and the ability to fully embrace every present moment. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Prepare yourself for an insightful, engaging, and potentially transformative journey, where you will gain a deeper understanding of your behaviors and powerful tools to cultivate the existence you truly desire and deserve. A life free from the chains of overthinking, pleasing others, and other habits that remove joy. But to get there, we must start by examining habit number 1, overthinking. In our hectic and information-overloaded world, the tendency to overthink has become a pandemic. We are constantly bombarded by stimuli, choices, and what-ifs that send our minds into frantic overload. Overthinking is that constant inner voice that stubbornly replays past situations, worries about future uncertainties, and magnifies minor concerns. This endless cycle of thoughts leaves us exhausted, anxious, and paralyzed. As Seneca warned, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. When we overthink, we mentally construct worst-case scenarios and catastrophize minor issues into looming disasters. The more we dwell on these imagined threats, the more real and frightening they become. This pernicious habit not only compromises our mental health, but also sabotages productivity, decision-making ability, and our capacity to embrace the present moment. When our mind is trapped in the cycle of overthinking, we cannot act decisively or appreciate the beauty and richness of what is in front of us. Fortunately, the ancient Stoics developed robust mental frameworks to counter overthinking and cultivate tranquility, an unshakable inner calm amidst the inevitable turbulences of life. At the core of their philosophy was the idea that we cannot control external events, only our judgments and reactions to them. As Marcus Aurelius proclaimed, if you are disturbed by something external, it is not the thing itself that disturbs you, but your judgment about it. Stoics taught that our overthinking stems from irrational beliefs and desires about how we think the world should be, rather than accepting reality for what it is. Reforming our perspective through reason and self-discipline can help us escape the prison of overthinking. A powerful Stoic exercise is called the view from above. It involves zooming out and looking at your current situation from a broader perspective, almost as if you were watching yourself on a large stage. This mental shift helps you detach from the myopic fixation that fuels overthinking and see your situation through a more rational and balanced lens. Here are some practical guides. Learn to identify your triggers for overthinking, situations, topics, or even times of the day when your mind tends to spiral. When you notice overthinking arising, pause and take several deep breaths to create space between you and your swirling thoughts. Practice the view from above, imagining yourself as an impartial observer, looking at the situation from a distance or from space. What does it look like? How significant is it? Ask yourself if this issue will matter in a year, 5 years, etc. Most of what we obsess over has little long-term relevance. Negative visualization. Vividly imagine losing the things you currently possess, like your belongings or your relationships, to cultivate a sense of gratitude and humility. Be present. When your mind wanders to other moments, gently bring it back to this moment, the only real thing. We live in a world where the pressure to conform and be appreciated is immense. Social media has amplified this, creating constant comparisons and perceived judgments. In this environment, many of us fall into the trap of trying to please everyone. This habit can be just as destructive as overthinking. Trying to please goes beyond mere kindness or consideration. It's a compulsive need to gain approval and avoid conflicts at all costs, often at the expense of our well-being and authenticity. The pleaser becomes a chameleon, constantly changing their behavior, opinions, and values to fit what they think others want. This habit can manifest in various ways. Always saying yes to requests even when overwhelmed, apologizing excessively even for things that are not our fault, avoiding expressing our genuine opinions for fear of disagreement, neglecting our needs to take care of others, feeling responsible for others' emotions, and trying to fix them. Although it may seem harmless or even virtuous on the surface, chronic pleasing takes a heavy toll. It leads to burnout, resentment, loss of identity, and paradoxically, often results in less authentic relationships. As the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely noted, the key is to keep company only with people who elevate you, whose presence calls forth your best. Stoics recognized the futility and danger of trying to please everyone. They understood that true fulfillment does not come from external validation, but from living according to one's values and virtues. Emperor-philosopher Marcus Aurelius offered this powerful advice: be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. This summarizes the Stoic approach toward others. Show understanding and kindness, but do not compromise your principles or well-being. Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing on what is under our control. We can control our actions and reactions, but we cannot control others' opinions or feelings about us. Epictetus clearly articulated this principle. If you want to improve, be content to be considered foolish and stupid regarding external things. This does not mean we should be inconsiderate or selfish, but rather that we should balance being kind with maintaining our integrity. In our journey through life, we often find ourselves trapped in the grip of the past. We relive old memories, rehash past conflicts, and dwell on missed opportunities. This habit of living in the past can be more insidious than we might expect, silently ruining our happiness and hindering our personal growth. Living in the past manifests in various ways, constantly reminiscing about the good old days, harboring grudges or resentments for past wrongs, fixating on past mistakes or failures, unfavorably comparing current situations with past experiences, clinging to outdated beliefs or perspectives. While reflection can be valuable, an excessive focus on the past prevents us from fully engaging in the present and preparing for the future. It's like trying to drive a car by looking in the rearview mirror. You will inevitably crash. Great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius recognized this danger when he wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." Clinging to the past makes us resist the natural flow of change and limits our potential for growth and happiness. Stoics offered powerful insights to help us break free from the tyranny of the past. At the core of their philosophy was an emphasis on the present moment, the only time we truly have under our control. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Do not let your reflection on the whole sweep of life crush you. Do not fill your mind with all the bad things that might still happen. Stay focused on the present situation and ask yourself why it is unbearable and cannot be overcome." This does not mean that we should completely ignore the past. Stoics believed in learning from history, both personal and collective. However, they emphasized using these lessons to inform present actions rather than dwelling on what cannot be changed. Epictetus offered this practical wisdom. Do not seek that everything happens as you wish, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will go well. This perspective encourages us to accept the past for what it was, learn from it, and then direct our energy toward the present and future. Worry is a universal human experience, but it can paralyze us and steal our joy when it becomes chronic. Worry has reached epidemic proportions in our modern world, full of constant streams of information and perceived threats. Worry is the mind's attempt to control the uncontrollable. It's a mental habit of fixating on potential future problems, often imagining worst-case scenarios. While a certain level of worry can be productive, excessive worrying rarely solves problems, instead creating a slew of new issues such as chronic stress and anxiety, concentration and decision-making difficulties, sleep disorders, physical health problems like headaches and digestive issues, strained relationships due to constant negativity, and a tendency to avoid new experiences or opportunities out of fear. The irony of worry is that it often causes more suffering than the events we worry about themselves. As humorously noted by Mark Twain, "I've had many worries in my life, most of which never happened." Stoics recognized worry as a misuse of our imaginative faculties and offered powerful strategies to combat it. At the center of their approach was the concept of the dichotomy of control, the idea that some things are under our control, while others are not. Epictetus clearly articulated this principle. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to stop worrying about things that are beyond the power of our will. By focusing our energy on what we can control, our thoughts, judgments, and actions, we can let go of fruitless worries about external events beyond our influence. Stoics also emphasize the importance of living in the present moment. Seneca advised, "True happiness is enjoying the present without anxious dependence on the future." We can escape the trap of imagining future calamities by grounding ourselves in the here and now. Moreover, Stoics practiced negative visualization, or the premeditation of evils. This involves deliberately imagining worst-case scenarios, not to worry about them, but to rationally prepare and reduce their power to disturb us. Self-doubt is a formidable adversary that many of us face daily. It's that annoying internal voice that whispers, "You're not good enough, you can't do it," or "Who do you think you are?" This constant questioning of our abilities, worth, and decisions can be paralyzing, hindering personal growth and preventing us from reaching our full potential. Self-doubt manifests in various ways: hesitation in pursuing goals or opportunities, constant comparison with others, perfectionism and fear of failure, difficulty making decisions, excessive seeking of validation from others, downplaying one's successes or achievements. At the root of self-doubt is a lack of trust in one's judgment and abilities, often rooted in past experiences, social pressures, or unrealistic expectations we impose on ourselves. While a healthy dose of self-reflection can be beneficial, chronic self-doubt erodes our confidence, limiting our ability to effectively tackle life's challenges. Stoics, emphasizing self-awareness and rational thinking, offer powerful tools to combat self-doubt. They believe that true personal worth comes from within and is based on our character and actions, not on external validations or circumstances. Epictetus said, "Circumstances do not make the man, they merely reveal him to himself." This perspective encourages us to see challenges not as threats to our personal worth, but as opportunities to demonstrate and develop our character. Stoics also emphasize the importance of focusing on what is under our control. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this and you will find strength." By focusing on our thoughts, judgments, and actions, rather than on others' opinions or external outcomes, we can build a more stable sense of self-esteem. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of Stoic wisdom. If you found value in this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Together, let's continue our journey of growth and self-discovery through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism.